by the time that year is over, when the decision is made, you will have had 5 years in that rank.
Okay. And the other question is that next year, that is during the month of December of the 6th year, the candidate is eligible to apply for tenure, right?
Actually, that's a more complicated answer. You're eligible to apply for tenure anytime you want. But the earlier you do it, the harder your chances are of getting tenure.
In the 6th year, it's mandatory.
But in your 6th year, it's mandatory.
Thank you.
Gail, did you have a question or not?
Yeah, I was just thinking back on the idea about bringing in the years you had beforehand, and they look at what you document that. I know it's pretty easy to document that in terms of creative activity, you know, what publications you have and so on. Do you put anything about teaching in the previous institution, or does the PhD committee not care what you did in the previous institution?
I mean, my sense is it's your file. You make the case the way that you feel best. If you had wonderful evaluations of your teaching and letters, put them in there.
And Gail, there's one other thing I would tell everybody to think about. It's not just objective observations. It's also self-reflection. So if you learned something about your own teaching at that other institution, that speaks to the quality of your teaching too, right? Because you're reflecting and you're thinking about it. So I think the answer is yes, that you still want to talk about all your activity at your previous institution, even if you don't have course evaluations. But even if you didn't, or I should say, I don't think it would hurt, but you could also make the case about what you learned about your own teaching at that other institution and how it mixes in with your teaching here, or whatever.
Or help prepare you for your teaching here, or whatever. The last thing on here should be the most simple, but it sometimes gets to be the most complicated. The 3-inch binder. We have tried to address this, I don't know how many times. When you go to Staples or any place to purchase a 3-inch binder, it will say 3-inch binder on the side, but when you take a ruler to it, it's not 3 inches. So we inevitably get calls of panic. Well, I bought a 3-inch binder, but it's 3 3/8 or 3 7/8 or closer to 4. It's actually the rings inside that designate the size of a 3-inch binder. So it doesn't matter on the supplementary files. I don't care, nobody cares what, they can be 4-inch files, supplementary. You could have 21-inch files if they were all different, whatever you want to do. But on the primary file, it should be a 3-inch binder, and it should be level. And it's because, and again, we tried to be as clear as we could in the Senate document, but last year I know that Dean Ferdine called me a number of times. I have an overstuffed 3-inch binder that looks like this, and people reviewing are afraid that things are going to fall out, or they do fall out. Where do I put them? Is it my responsibility? Do I contact the candidate? Now the candidate's got access to the file. So nobody's really going to be around measuring it, but use your judgment. If there's and I've seen people want to pass it to the department like that, and we say go back you have supplementary files. Find a better way to refer to it. So your primary file, and Dave can probably speak to this better, but that's the first thing that people are going to look at. That's what's going to stick in their mind. So that's where the important things go, and you don't have to put every little thing in there, and the reference to things, they can go in your supplementary file. But again, it's the 3-inch. As long as you buy it as a 3-inch binder, it should be okay.
It's also emphasized that all 4 categories should be in the primary.
Dora said to be clear that, I thought that was obvious, but maybe it's not, that the materials you have for all 4 categories should be in your primary file within that 3-inch binder. And I know student opinion surveys come up a lot about what should you do, and what we've, at least this is my opinion, you may get different answers, is that the analysis sheets, at least for, again, if you're going up for promotion, it should be the recent ones that are all in there. Eventually you can't put everything since the day that you started, and you can put them in a supplementary file and the orange evaluation comments and so forth. But what you want to do is you're making your best case for what you want to achieve, so put those in the primary file.